Nigel Farage, I suspect I know the answer to this question, but you were, for a very long time, highly sceptical about Boris Johnson's Euroscepticism. Was it real? When you read this, when you look at this, this is what you were hoping to hear, I presume.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was very sceptical when he did the so-called deal back at the end of October, yeah. But then, in the run-up to the general election, he made the promises, all the same promises that he's talking about today. Indeed, the Conservative manifesto made it clear we would not have regulatory alignment. If we finish up with alignment, it means that the 88% of our economy that does not sell goods into the EU is still bound by EU rules, and that would not be Brexit. So look, I think he's saying all the right things. I think he's being consistent with the manifesto upon which he was elected, and I think there's a big difference this time. You know, I don't think the EU ever took Mrs May terribly seriously. I got the sense, I was there on Wednesday, my last day there, I got the sense in that debate that for the first time since the vote in 2016, they're a little bit more frightened of us than we are of them.
Really? And when it comes to this business of I was going to say, why would we be angry with them? Is it what I suggested just now, that we thought we had a free trade deal coming to us, and they're now saying, yes, but you have to hang under the European court and so on?
Yeah, I mean, what happened there was Donald Tusk, and he's on your programme later, Donald Tusk said to Theresa May, if it's a Canada-style trade deal that you want, we'll do it with you. And she rejected that. So kind of what's being said in the Telegraph is that Boris is angry that they've changed their minds. Yeah. But that was nearly a couple of years ago that was put on the table.
Yes. Now,
I mean, what they fear more than anything, and bear in mind, Italy's in recession, Germany's very, very close to being in recession. What they fear is a competitor on their doorsteps. That terrifies them. And of course, what we should be doing in our national interest is to make sure that we are a competitor on their doorstep.
Now, you will be observing all of this from the outside at the moment. Do you have red lines yourself which would lead you to say, actually, Boris Johnson is not doing a proper Brexit? And what are they?
Well, yes. I mean, before the general election, as nominations came up, you know, I was asked, well, what are you going to do? Where are you going to stand candidates? And the reason I stood down 317 candidates and said to the Conservatives, you go for it, is because of those specific pledges that Boris made about regulatory alignment. So that, for me, is the absolute key. There are other things, too, that matter a lot, and I think fishing and how we deal with that is going to be on the table very, very quickly. We will see the Brussels document published tomorrow. So I think there are two areas that really matter.
And if he doesn't do what you want him to do, let me start off. Does the Brexit Party still exist?
It does. And look, I tell you what, in 2016, after the referendum, I was so thrilled that we won. I've been doing it for so many years. I actually believed Theresa May when she said Brexit means Brexit, very stupidly of me. And I think I gave the impression that I'd rather walked away. I'm not going to walk away this time. The Brexit Party will still be there. It'll be more, I think, an insurance policy in case things go wrong. There's going to be a new think tank set up called Brexit Watch, and we will through every stage of the next 11 months, praise the government to the high heavens where they're getting it right, but ring the alarm bell if they're not.
Because you don't have any important elections coming up that would allow you to re-enter the political debate that way, not for a long time.
No, that's true, but you know, the world has changed. What we do have, myself and my colleagues in the Brexit Party, we've got a massive social media following. We have a means of reaching very large numbers of people without letters after our name.